Good afternoon, everyone. Today is day two of a writer's workshop. Come on in, make yourself at home, grab your pen, tablet, paper, whatever you use to take notes with. Come on in, have a seat, and I'm sure this 45-minute hour session about self-publishing is going to help you on your journey. Come on in, like, share, show me some love as we go forth today on day two of the Writers Workshop. I am your coach. I am your host, Paulette Harper, two-time award-winning author, literary strategist, and the founder of The Author's Remedy, where I teach people. I have to say that now because there might be some men that I can help help them publish their books. So I teach individuals how to change the narrative and turn those painful experiences into impactful transformational stories by getting written, getting published, and getting paid. Come on in, have a seat. I'm going to invite some people to come on in with us. We are going to have a great time this evening talking about self-publishing. And so as we talk about self-publishing, there are so many pros and cons about self-publishing, but I want you to know that if you do things correctly as you self-publish, then you'll reap so many great rewards from it. So tonight, what I want to do is talk to you about the cons of self-publishing and the steps to self-publish. Now, I didn't think I need to share about the pros because we know that there's so many pros to self-publishing. You know, your royalties, you take out the middle person, you have total control over your own product, your own book, when it gets published, your book cover and all that. So you own all the rights and whatnot. Those are the pros to self-publishing. But today I wanted to talk about the steps to self-publishing and then also the cons to self-publishing, because just as there is a good side to self-publishing, there is also some downfall to it. And I want to bring those before you so that you can be equipped, so that you can have the knowledge that's going to help you be successful in this industry as a published author. So, first things first is what is self-publishing, or how do you go about publishing your own book? So this is some checklists for you whereby you can make sure that you're doing everything that you need to do to get your book published. So, your checklist. First of all, as a self-published author, that means that, of course, everything falls on you. That means the whole entire cost of publishing your books. And if you haven't saved up money to do that, I encourage you to do that so you're not shocked by the price tag of some of the things you have to do in order to get your book published. Now, first of all, you want to form your own publishing house. That means decide on a name that you're going to use for identification when you get your ISBN number and all those things that pertain to the business side of publishing. So get a publisher's name that you like so that you can use it on all of your documents. Form a publishing company. Then you want to also apply for your sales permit, business license within your city, state, and government. Make sure you do that. And then also you want to purchase your ISBN number and your barcodes. That's going to go on, of course, your books. And when you purchase your ISBN number and your barcode, you can purchase from 1 all the way up to 100 ISBN numbers. So it just depends on your financial condition at the moment and how many books you plan on writing. But I can tell you this, that Ingram Sparks require that you have an ISBN number for every format of your book. So you may want to consider that when you go to purchase your ISBN numbers and your barcodes. Then next, you want to make sure that you register with the Library of Congress. Then also, one of the major things that we have to do as self-published authors is to hire a professional team that's going to help us do the edits, the interior design, the cover art. And so you need qualified people, experienced people that's going to help you make your book as best as it possibly can in the editing and the cover design, and then also in the formatting as well. Then you also want to decide if you are going to use Amazon or Ingram Sparks. Those are probably the two major printers and distributors that are out there that can print your book and also distribute your book all over the United States of America in different countries as well. So you have to just do the investigation, and then also, hey Donna, good to see you. You just have to do the investigation to find out what's going to be the best route for you to self-publish your book. So tonight, this is day 2. We're talking about self-publishing. We're looking at the cons of self-publishing and what it takes to self-publish your book. And also, we're talking about the Author's Remedy, which is my online coaching program that I'm going to be launching in a week or so. That's going to help nonfiction writers publish, market their books, and I'm going to be the instructor with the Author's Remedy, and I'm so looking forward to that. More on that at the end of this segment. So when I was talking to you about the cons of self-publishing, it has so many rewards to it, but it also has some drawbacks. And it's only drawbacks when we don't do the work that it requires for us to self-publish. Now, there are so many people that self-publish. And one of the things that I share when I'm coaching my clients is we never want people to look at our work, look at our cover, and look at the content of our book and say, oh yeah, they self-published that. We never want that. We always want to have the best quality that we present to our readers, because we want our readers to have a great experience when they read our books. And so the one of the things that really irks readers when they're reading self-published books is all the mistakes, all the errors, a book cover that doesn't pop, a book cover that doesn't reach them. And so these are some of the things that you have to really make sure that you do, that you don't cut corners on, so that when you do release your book, it looks polished, it looks really good, and that you didn't take the shortcut when it came to publishing or self-publishing your book. So when it comes to self-publishing, meaning that there are no agents, there are no deals that you have to go through, no publisher other than you finding your own printer and distributor. There is no one to help you with marketing. There's no editors. There are actually no one really to help you when you decide to do self-publishing. And when I say no one to help you, you have to find the people to help you. You have to create the team, develop the team, and find people that's going to help you be the best self-published author that you can be. So when it comes to self-publishing, the challenge comes when we don't do not just the work to self-publish, but we don't do what's necessary to learn the craft. We don't do what's necessary to learn the right way to self-publish. I have been coaching authors since probably 2010 or 11. And so one of the things that I emphasize with them is the fact that they have to learn how to, know the industry, know and ask questions, do research, because I can only do so much in coaching, but you have to do a lot of the work as well. And so a lot of authors are so anxious about just publishing a book that they don't do the necessary work to make their book look good. They don't do the necessary work to learn this industry, because there are people in this industry, believe it or not, that will take advantage of you. There are, predators out there in the publishing industry that will bait you to come and allow them to publish your book, knowing that you are anxious and you are excited about being published, and you don't take the necessary steps to learn about this publishing company. And so before you know it, you done signed over all your rights, your exclusive rights. You signed over all your rights, and you're not going to get the services that you expected, because one, you didn't read the contract. And so these are things that self-publishers need to look for if you decide that you're going to find a publisher that's going to, want to publish your book. So I highly recommend that you do it yourself, because you have all control. You keep all your royalties. You make all the decisions. But of course, you spend all of your money too. But you get it back when you do other things apart from just publishing your book. So one of the cons, I'm going to talk about some of the cons about being a self-published author. When we only use Amazon or Ingram Spark just to have print copies, and we don't have our ebooks. That's a major problem for a lot of readers, because a lot of readers want to read books that are on ebook. And so if an author only has their book uploaded for a print format, then they're leaving a lot of money on the table, because ebook readers want to read in this format. And so when you are asking your formatter, what format are they going to, put your book in, create your book in, you want to ask them, are you going to create my book in print and also an ebook? These are things that you need to know, because there are a lot of, books that are on Amazon that just have paperback and no ebook. And so people that want to read ebooks, they may not necessarily want to just, buy a copy of your print book, because they're used to having ebooks. So you want to make sure that you provide your readers with as many formats to your book as possible. Some readers like audio. Now, I have one of my books, my children's book is on audio, but I also know that audio can be very expensive. So you want to make sure that you have done the research, that you know that there's an audience for audiobook for your particular genre, and you want to make sure that you are going to somehow recoup and get your money back for that investment. And a lot of times people won't do audio because it's so expensive to do it, and the chances of recouping your money is very slim. But you do give somebody the opportunity to have your book on audio as well. So that's something that you can consider, but I would encourage you to make sure that you do your due diligence in your research when it comes to having your book in audio. Print, no problem. Ebook, no problem. But audio, you have to, really do your research. And then also, some authors like to have their book in hardcover. And so, once again, you got to do your research to see if it's even worth you doing that. Now, Ingram Sparks allows you to have all four of those formats: paperback, ebook, audio, and also, well, not audio, but the hardcover. Audio, you have to go to someone else. But you do have that option to do that with Ingram Spark. So if you want your book in hardcover, then you definitely would go to them to do your printing and also your distribution. Thank you for the love. I appreciate it. So Anyway, so we're talking about print copies, making sure that you have your other formats for those who want to read your book. Then also, not learning up front the cost of publishing, the cost of editing, the cost of the cover design, the cost of formatting. You need to know before you even start writing or midway through your writing process how much it's going to cost you. Consider the cost, because the thing about publishing, because you have to pay for all this, you have to set a budget for yourself. And that means that if you want to publish your book and you want it to be the best book possible, excellent in editing and also in cover art and whatnot, you have to pay for that. And you need to make sure that you have the money and the resources to do it when the time comes. One of the great things about self-publishing is that you decide when your book is going to get published. But I also know that we're so anxious to get our book published and to become an author that we don't take the necessary time, not in learning the industry. And then also we don't find out until it's probably the 11th hour how much editing is going to cost. And then you're shocked. and then you're shocked, and then you're not doing anything. So what I encourage you to do is make sure you budget for it. You find out how much it's going to cost. And so when you're deciding on an editor, the cover designer, the formatter, which is also the interior designer, when you decide to hire someone, please make sure they are professionals when it comes to the editing. It's not your mom, your family, your friends. Make sure they are professional, because they're not going to be able to see like a professional editor would see your book. And so don't ask them to read your book and think that that's the editing. No, it's not, because there are different stages to editing. Depending on how much edits your book needs, you have to give your book to the right editor. It might be content, it might be development. So you want to make sure that when your book is ready to be edited, that it is with the right person that's going to give you the proper edits, the proper suggestions that you need to make your book great. And then the last person that you're going to need when it comes to the editing is the proofreader. And so them too need to be a professional, okay? So make sure that that's the piece that you don't skim back on. That's the piece you don't, cut through. You don't cheat on, you don't cut out. Make sure that the editing piece is the part that, I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to invest, because this is your book. And you want to make sure that that portion of your book, the editing, has high quality. It takes precedence over a lot of other stuff that you may choose, but not the editing. Make sure that you have somebody to edit your book that's a professional. Next is also the responsibility of marketing your book rests upon you. So these are things to consider before you even, decide that you want to publish a book. Think about all these things that you are going to have to do. So marketing, that's a big piece of it, because if you don't market your book, then nobody is going to be able to even know that you have a book out there. So you have to factor marketing and promoting your book in with your budget. So I would suggest you get an Excel spreadsheet and write down all the things you're going to need to self-publish your book and how much it's going to cost you, so that you know how much it'll cost you, and to prepare yourself in increments. You don't have to do it all at once. That's the great thing about self-publishing. You don't have to do it all at once, but you're going to have to do it. So make sure that you do the things that's necessary to get your book out there when you market. And there's so many places that can help you market your book, help you promote your book. Some places are free and some places charge, but you have to decide which one is going to work for you. And I would suggest a combination of both. So you want to make sure that when you decide on the marketing piece of it and you're going to pay for it, that it fits your needs. You find out what can they do to help promote your book, and if they can fit your need, then of course you want to hire them to help you promote and market your book. Now, finding free places to market and promote your book, they're out there, but you have to do the work. You have to diligently do the work to find the places that you can promote your book on their site for free. They're out there, but you have to do the labor in order to find it. You guys doing okay out there? Thank you for joining me. I'm talking about getting published. Then also, the responsibility, not just the marketing, but be prepared to invest your time in creating and updating your blog or your website, building your mailing list, soliciting reviews, using social media and book discounting site for promoting, which I already mentioned. But you have to be prepared to invest your time. And that means that you have to do the work. It bothers me. I shouldn't say bothers, but when I think about authors who have probably some really great books and they don't know how to, market their book and promote their book, that's something that they have to learn how to do. And that's something that you have to do all the time. And I know, it could be, tiring for you. I realize that, you probably don't want to just keep, putting your book out there in front of people, but I'm telling you, that's exactly what you're going to have to do. You are going to have to give yourself the freedom and the ability to exercise your right to freely promote your book on social media and any other means as necessary. And so when you're doing that, that means that your book has to be in the eyesight of people. That's creating, promo graphics, that's creating infographics, whatever you need to do to get your book the exposure that it needs, you need to do that. And that is going to require an investment of your time. And if you don't have a lot of time, then that's when you're going to have to hire someone that's going to help you promote and market your book. And I mentioned earlier that, of course, you got to pay for it all. Yes, we do, but it's okay. It really is okay. So here are some of the pain points for aspiring authors, nonfiction authors, when it comes to writing their books. If you're looking to self-publish, be prepared to pay out of your pocket all the costs of professionals to editing and book design, as I mentioned. So here's a pain point. Your manuscript is complete, but you don't have money for the edits. Your manuscript is done. Your book is all done, but you don't have the money for the edits. Your manuscript and your edits are done, but you don't have the money to market your book. You have the money to publish and pay for the edits and the promotion, but you have no strategy on how to reach your ideal reader. Then, a pain point, you won't learn how to promote yourself. Because I can tell you that no one is a greater promoter of your book than you. And you need to do that. So those are some of the pain points. And so for an author, you have to make sure that you cover every one of those steps, that you have the money to publish, you have the money for the edits, you have the money to market, and you have a strategy to find your ideal reader. Those key 4 points are necessary to become a published author. I should probably say a successful published author. Next, you will spend more time away from writing. Why? Because you're investing your time in promoting and marketing your book. So while other people may be, writing and whatnot, you have to spend time promoting, finding places where you can do vending, finding places where you can promote your book, finding speaking gigs, speaking engagements, and whatnot. You'll have to spend time pushing your book and getting your book into the public's eye, because if you don't do it, nobody else is going to do it for you. As a newbie, expect to spend more time and effort on these tasks more than seasoned self-published authors. Because why? You're a newbie. And I remember when I first wrote, when I became an author in 2008, my very first book that I wrote, I didn't know a whole lot about marketing and promoting, but I had to learn, because I realized that nobody was going to promote my book better than me. And so I learned the process. I learned how to do it. And so even with me learning how to do it, I made every effort to put my book out there, to get my book in the right hands and get my book the exposure that it needed. And I remember someone saying to me, "Paulette, I see you everywhere." And that was a testament to my efforts of getting myself out there. All of it was online, and getting myself out there so that people can know about who I was as an author and that I had written a book. So I'm going to ask you, let me know, is this something that you want to do? Or maybe you know someone who wants to become an author. And so the author's remedy is to help nonfiction aspiring authors write, publish, and learn how to market their books. And so we help those of you who are in certain stages in your publishing journey. Everyone is not on the same stage. Everyone is not in the same space. And so let me ask you this. Do you have a book idea, and you're stuck because you don't know how to create the content for each chapter? You've written a book but don't know how to publish it. You've been working on a book for years but need accountability and someone to guide you to the finish line. This is where the author's remedy come into play. We help aspiring authors in these stages of their life, in their publishing journey. If that's you, then we can help you. Who is the author's remedy, or what is the author's remedy? The author's remedy is a online done for you or done with you program that I'm creating, that's going to be launching in a week or so, to those of you who want to write nonfiction books. Inspirational, transformational, subject books, reference books, self-help books, books along that line, nonfiction books. And the author's remedy will come alongside of you to make sure that you get your book published. So the program is going to open at the end of March. And the sessions will start on April the 13th, and you will have your book published in the middle part of July. And so if this is something that you are excited about and you want to take advantage of the opportunity of working with me, I have been coaching authors since 2010, and I absolutely love helping authors publish their books, push their books out, so that readers and those that want to hear their stories, the opportunity for them to share their stories with the world is here. Because sometimes we just need someone to push us along in this journey. And because I have this passion to help people write and publish books, I'm going to give you the opportunity to work alongside me in the Author's Remedy. It's going to be a 12-week program. And I'm only going to allow 15 people to be part of this experience, because I want to have an intimate contact with these group of women or men that's going to come along and allow me to help them publish their books. It's going to be exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. And so I'm going to leave a link in this at the end of this video how you can get on the my mailing list so that you can be the first to know when the launch of the Author's Remedy. And then also I'll leave a link for my Facebook group as well, where you can join and get some more information about self-publishing, about marketing, promoting, and using your gifts and developing your craft as an author. And so I hope you take me up on those two things as well. So I want to leave you with this, knowing this, that your message is important. Your experiences have not gone in vain, that there are people, readers, that need to hear your story to help them move forward in life. Because what we've gone through wasn't just for us, it was for someone else, to help them move, to help them further their relationship, to help them get better, to be more developed personally, spiritually, emotionally. It's to help them be the best that they can be. And how can they do that? By reading our stories. So this is Paulette Harper, two-time award-winning author, literary strategist, and the founder of The Author's Remedy, where I teach you how to change the narrative and turn those painful experiences into impactful, transformational stories. I'll see you tomorrow on day 3, where we are going to be talking about getting paid as an author. That should be exciting. Thank you for joining me.